Hi everyone, this is Krishna with SJ Talks. ఈ రోజు మనతో ఉన్న గెస్ట్ ప్రొఫైల్ చూస్తే ఆశ్చర్యం వేస్తుంది. He was in Indian Air Force. He is a PhD holder. He is into global IT leader. Now he is an author. ఒక మన ఆఫీస్ వర్క్ని ఒక మేనేజ్ ఎలా సింపుల్గా చేస్తామో, మన లైఫ్ని ఎలా సింపుల్గా లీడ్ చేయాలో అనేది he will just guide us through our talks today. So let's welcome Dr. Srinivas Reddy Edulakanti. Welcome, sir, on the talks.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast, and I welcome all your viewers to this particular talk. And I'm so excited about this particular podcast. Thank you, Krishna garu.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. Once again, Dr. Srinivas, Indian Air Force lo chala years మీరు ఉన్నారు. తర్వాత you became a global IT leader now. So in one single thread, how you think, how would you describe yourself, the journey, what you went through till now?
A good question. Indeed, all the way I moved across from Indian Air Force to IT, and IT in IT also different organizations, and also I continue my education. So what is that one thing really kept me going? What is that one thread is kept me moving in my life is importantly, I would say, the project mindset. So I started my career with Indian Air Force, where I learned the discipline. From the corporate life, I learned execution, and from life, always I reflect myself how to be better. So putting all these things together, I would say that project mindset, the project, concept, which kept me going, and that is the one thread I would say kept me going and keep me going even still.
That's very good, sir. మీకు వచ్చిన రికగ్నేషన్స్, అవార్డ్స్ ఇవన్నిటిని చూసుకుంటే, సో మీలో మీకు బిగ్గెస్ట్ ఇంటర్నల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఎలా జరిగింది? సో you got all these, but still, like before you getting all these awards, you been in a internal gather change ochundu. We just eagerly want to know all about that.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, we all know there is something happens external to external world, that something happens institutionalized into our internal world. So initial years, when you say awards, recognitions, more of I was more curious, excited, encouraged when I getting award, for any small thing from my school age, corporate, so on and so forth. But over the period, I matured enough to understand, there's something internally, I should change. If you see the rewards, awards, these are all milestones in my journey. If I take this life as a journey, in your journey, there are certain milestones where somebody recognizes you, something, the work gets recognized, then you reflect back what you did, what is that you can say. So in summary, as on date, the awards, rewards, recognition, part and parcel of our journey. These are all certain stepping stones, I would say, milestones, I would say.
Good, sir. Sir, మీరు వేరియస్ బిగ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ వర్క్ చేశారు. సో దాట్స్ స్టార్టెడ్ విత్ ఇండియన్ ఎయిర్ ఫోర్స్, తర్వాత యూ వర్క్ ఫర్ ద కార్పొరేట్ కంపెనీస్ లైక్ Emphasis, DXC, Tech Mahindra. Now you've been as a CTO for Patil Group of Industries. So మీ board rooms లో ఉన్న kind of a situation ఏంటి, and that's how you handle the board and how you influence as a CTO outside. What's the difference in between these?
No, indeed, this is very important question, Andy. Board rooms lo over the period, if I compare, previously it's more of presentations, right? Even customer ochindante manam present yourself, present your brand, present your solution, right? Putting together information, putting together data, presenting to your boards, board of directors and our customer, so on and so forth. Now that has been replaced by AI technology. There is no, I would say, shortage of information nowadays. There is no shortage of data. So boardroom is already overloaded with all this data using AI tools. That is number one. Number two is, now what is our role as a human being, as a part of board. So it's more of like, it's become like, what is that value you bring in as a human being? Human, we call it in the AI technology, human in loop. That human touch. How do you shape those discussions? How do you shape those decisions for the board is what critical in nowadays. So if you ask me in simple question, as I matured enough to add the human touch, human value on top of the AI, driven data and analytics, I always ensure like, I'm able to add value to my board by influencing in their direction, in their decisions.
సో దట్స్ వెరీ నైస్ అగైన్. సో మీ లెవెల్ స్థాయికి ఇప్పుడున్న సిచ్యువేషన్లో నాన్ నెగోషియబుల్ క్వాలిటీస్ వాట్ ఎ పర్సన్ షుడ్ నీడ్?
So Krishna Garu, if I understand your questions, more of your leadership qualities, like what is that leadership qualities? So my style of leadership is more of servant leadership. I bring in a lot of agility. I don't know, by virtue of from my childhood, I am so agile, not fragile. So that is one quality which I carry forward, agility, like agile, and we call it. Then servant leadership, like I always put forward my team, anything, everything. I back them, I support them, I become like enable them. That's what I do, I practice. Now third thing is, as a leader, I ensure like I am having the clarity of thoughts, clarity of action, clarity of execution. When you have this clarity, and same thing I communicate to my team also, so that there is no gap in terms of what I wanted and what they are executing. So these are the leadership qualities which I think very important for any leaders to grow. And on top of it, transformation, like one should be transformational leader. When I say transformation leader, you keep on learning, you keep on adapting to the changes. That is very important. That's one thing keeps going as a leader. So these are the qualities which I think very important for any leader to excel in their journey.
గచ్చా సార్, ఇప్పుడు ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ అన్నారు. సో ఇప్పుడు డిజిటల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్, సో వాట్ ఐ కేమ్ టు నో యాజ్ పర్ ద మార్కెట్, 70% ఆఫ్ ద డిజిటల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్ బీన్ ఫెయిల్డ్ అని అంటున్నారు. సో కన్సల్టింగ్ స్లైడ్స్కి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఈ ఇప్పుడున్న దానికి రీజన్ ఏంటి కనిపించింది అని ఐ కుడ్ సే దాట్. కన్సల్టింగ్ లో చెప్పేది ఒక రకంగా ఉంటుంది, రియల్ సెనారియోకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి వేరుగా ఉంటుంది.
బాగా చెప్పారు.
వాట్స్ ద డిఫరెన్స్?
బాగా చెప్పారు. సో మీరు చెప్పింది 70% అఫ్ కోర్స్ డిజిటల్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ ఫెయిల్ అవుతుంటాయి, ఎందుకు అనేది. సో ఐఎమ్ ఫార్చునేట్ టు సే దిస్, ఐ బీన్ ఇన్ ద బోత్ సైడ్స్ ఆఫ్ కాయిన్. వెన్ ఐ సే బోత్ సైడ్స్ ఆఫ్ కాయిన్, like I been in the customer side, I've been in the service provider side. So I've seen like how a service provider, or I call it contractor, supplier, would look at that problem statement. At the same time, like now I am sitting in the customer position in the Patil group, in the position of CTO. I understand like what I expect, how I expect. So both sides, the important thing is like both sides should have the clarity. For customer, he should be very clear about what is his problem statement. For supplier side, he should be very clear about what is the problem statement and what is the solution he is going to provide. Generally what happens, there is a disconnect. And to be seamlessly connect with expectations of the customer, you should understand the complete ecosystem of the customer. That is one thing. Second thing, like most of the people, the suppliers generally look at to give the bits and pieces of solutions just to fix one problem. But I would say they should understand holistically the customer environment, the customer ecosystem, and the customer problem statements to address. While they are addressing the locally, they should have the picture of globally also. If a customer is local customer, global customer, how big he is. So this is something keeps a service provider understanding the customer ecosystem to be part of their digital journey. and there won't be any disconnect. And you have to take through. This is a continuous process. That's how I look at, like, both the most of these digital transformation fails due to disconnect, and ensure both sides are having that clarity what is expected and how it's been addressed. That's how I can think can be more successful in digital transformation.
Good, sir. So same related to that. ఇప్పుడు digital transformation, so most of the companies are going. Is this kind of a one-time initiative, లేకపోతే it's continuous journey? How would you say that?
Yeah, good point. Indeed, I would say I connect this with life transformation, digital transformation. Like, by the way, I'm also a life coach. So digital transformation is always continuous process, right? And all we need to see in the life transformation or digital transformation, we should reflect back, see in the cycle of maturity. Life transformation also having its maturity cycle, like maturity model. We need to understand where I am in that maturity cycle. Let's say from 0 to 5. If I'm at level 5, what I need to be next level, what as is state, what is my as is state, and where I want to be. So that should be very clear, so that you continue journey. So in a nutshell, like, digital transformation is always continuous process. It's not one time activity.
That's it. So ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ 5 to 10 yearsలో ఐటీ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ ఎలా ఉండబోతుంది?
Indeed, this is very insightful question, Krishna garu. See, when I compare, like, the journey I started and the journey we are in now, there is a drastic change. You also agree with me, due to whatever, like, AI technology and all, everything getting disrupted, right? So I would say this industry, any industry you take for that matter, is going to disrupt. There is no doubt, and it's going to happen very fast, and it's already happening. Now in next 5 years, it's long time. If I answer you nowadays, anything you take 6 months to 1 year is a long journey, 5 years long. But still, I would see, like, this particular IT infrastructure is going to take the shape of autonomous, automation. Third is transformation. These three things are going to be there in next 5 years. So one should be ready to embrace that change, get ready to accept, adopt to that autonomous, automation and the transformation, so that they are, I would not say they are head of the game, at least they would be in the game.
డాక్టర్ శ్రీని గారు, ఇప్పుడున్న యంగ్ ప్రొఫెషనల్స్కి ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఏఐ బాగా హైప్లో ఉంది. ఇప్పుడున్న పరిస్థితిలో ఏఐ లేక డొమైనా ఎలా ఉంటుంది, ఉండబోతుంది, అసలు చెప్పాలంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అని కదా ఉండబోతుంది?
బాగా అడిగారు. అండ్ ఇండీడ్ నేను కూడా చాలా మంది నన్ను అడిగే క్వశ్చన్స్ కూడా ఇదే. What would be right for my son, or what would be the right, like, learning or course or program for my son? This is, people kept asking questions, but my simple answer is, whatever you are doing, you do it with clarity, and you try to get the depth of the subject. So now the society, I would say, more behind the technology, AI, but without that, underneath the domain, the technology cannot stand. So people should understand. So I would say, for the younger generation, they should be more or better in any domain they take. I come from aerospace. You know how it is prevailing, how it is evolving. Likewise, agriculture you take, like, any like, engineering, you take manufacturing, mining, so on and so forth. Any domain take, without understanding of the domain, no technology works. The technology to enable that business, the technology to take that forward, like, domain. And by the way, the future, no domain is left without technology. So the good thing is, you learn technology, you try to get better at your domain. So both combining these two skills, you will be at par or behind your crowd, I would say.
Good, sir. సార్, ఇప్పుడు మిడ్ సైజ్ కంపెనీ ఏఐలో దిగాలి అని అనుకున్నారు. వాట్ ఆర్ ద బడ్జెట్ కన్స్ట్రెంట్స్ జనరల్లీ ఎన్ ఎ కంపెనీ వుడ్ ఫేస్?
Good thing indeed, like, mid-sized companies, a lot of people trying to be entrepreneurs now, job market, they want to do independently. I would say there are a lot of factors works, like not only budget. The real question is, how do they start, where do they start, like
Right.
and in terms of like someone wants to, if I take example of someone wants to start AI mid-size company, how they can invest, what they can invest. It's more of like they should understand first what they want. If they want to be in AI technology, they should be aware of, they should get educated first, rather depending on the external market consultants. They come and give a lot of gyan, right? But unless you understand, it's of no use. Maybe they may guide you or misguide you. So first and foremost, I would say, you get awareness, get educate what you want to do, get clarity, then go to the people to get the consultancy, like how I can be, right? How I can reach, what is my business model, and all that can be possible. So first and foremost, if I put it in other way, when you are going to a doctor, Krishna Garu, if you don't know what is your illness, disease, you are simply giving your body, keeping your body, like handing over yourself to the doctor, do whatever you want, right? That won't work. So rather I would say, it's our life, it's my company. I should be 100% aware of my body, I should be 100% aware of my business, so that I am in best position to judge myself, is that solution right for me or not. That works with the doctor also, right? That's very important nowadays. So that's how I take it, Krishna Garu.
డాక్టర్ శ్రీని గారు, ఇప్పుడు ఏఐ గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుతున్నాం అంటే స్పెసిఫిక్గా పర్సనల్ లైఫ్లో మీరు ఎలా యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు, దానికి ఎంతవరకు బౌండరీ ఏమన్నా సెట్ చేసుకున్నారు, హౌ యూ యూజ్ ఇట్ అండ్ హౌ యూ వేర్ యూ డజంట్ యూజ్ ఇట్?
Good question, Krishna Garu. Another very interesting question. If you look at like your younger generation at home also, మనం చూస్తుంటే పిల్లలు like everybody is playing with mobile, everybody is passionate about like AI, this, that and all, without knowing its impact and all. I would say the way I use, then only you will have that value. I mean, first and foremost, you should know what is that problem you want to solve. You should be very clear. You will not go and ask AI to like tell me what are my problems. It vaguely gives like which may not be your problem. So first and foremost, I should know what is my problem statement. I should know what I want, right? I should be leading, I should be leader when I'm working with any technology, with AI. And AI should be assistant, your assistant, like it assists you to accelerate, it assists you to summarize, it should assist you to take that journey into right direction. That's how I take it. So in summary, I would say, always, to me, I'm the human being, I take control of my tools, my technology and AI. I never give chance to my tools to overtake me. So that's very, very important, and that's very important for generations also. Don't get into copy paste jobs. Try to create your work, try to create your value, try to understand what I want, then you move to the any technology, any tools.
Gotcha, well said, sir. So it looks like అంటే ఇప్పుడు మీరు how I felt is, and అది నేను ఎలా ఫీల్ అయ్యానంటే, యూ బీన్ ఇన్ టు ద ఇండియన్ ఎయిర్ ఫోర్స్ బ్యాటిల్ ఫీల్డ్లో ఉన్నారు. సో అగైన్ యూ బీన్ ఇన్ టు దిస్ చెప్పాలంటే ఈ జర్నీ సో ఇన్ టు ఐటీ. సో ఈ రెండిటికి ఇట్స్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ ఐ వాంట్ ఈజ్ లైఫ్ ఈజ్ ఎ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఎలా మారింది?
Good thing. That's something reminds me, recollects me my latest book, which yet to be published. That is Life Project Management, and the book title is Life is a Project. Indeed, like the way I started looking at that life, I learned this indeed from my parents. My parents used to take up the problems to solve them. Small, like small, big, there's nothing mattered. But always they embrace like problem. They always like look for how to solve them. And they used to take up a lot of projects. వ్యవసాయంలో మనం తీసుకుంటే పంటలు వస్తుంటాయి, రకరకాల పంటలు వేస్తుంటారు. దానికి ఒక టైం లైన్ ఉంటుంది, దానికి ఒక ఎనర్జీ ఉంటుంది, దానికి ఒక ప్లాన్ ఉంటుంది. ఇవన్నీ చూస్తే I felt like everything is a project. Life itself is a project. And ఈ లైఫ్లో ఎన్నో ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. మ్యారేజ్, బర్త్డే పార్టీస్, కెరీర్ ప్లానింగ్, so and so forth. Anything they take, it is having a start, it is having end, it is having actions. So that's where, in summary, I would say, over the period from my experience and from my experimentation, and this thought has came up, this idea, this concept of life is a project, and everybody is a project manager of the life. So that's how it took the seed, and that's where I am with this book.
సో మీ బుక్ కొంతవరకు నేను చూశాను. ఆ బుక్లో ఎలా ఉంది అంటే ఇట్స్ మోర్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అన్ ఎమోషనల్ మూమెంట్తో మొదలైంది, రాదర్ టు బి అన్ ఫ్రేమ్ వర్క్ కాకుండా ఉంది. సో అది ఎలా స్టార్ట్ చేశారు? ఇట్స్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ లిటిల్ బోల్డ్నెస్ వేర్ ఐ ఫెల్ట్. నార్మల్గా ఒక నావల్గా కాకుండా, అంటే ఇట్స్ నావల్ కాకుండా యూ బీన్ బోల్డ్ ఎనఫ్ టు ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ దాట్. How did you do that, sir?
Good question. Indeed, I just put it again. It's non-fiction. There is no philosophy. It is very practical book, coming from practical experience. You follow it, and there is a success. There is outcome. That's how this book is. So, if I take as a human being, we have operating system, right? You understand that. Knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, unconsciously, your system is running, right? Similarly, life project also, there is a life operating system, we call it. And every life or any product for that matter you take, it's, I think, the life cycle, right? That's how I bring in life operating system, then I bring in life project, life cycle, then way of working. Putting all this together, these, gives you the right perspective in terms of two things are again. One is what you want in life. Do you want to lead your life by default, or you want to lead your life by design? When I say default and design, the life can happen without your intervention and all, and you can just follow it as life unfolds for you. That is one way. Other way is you try to be proactively planning your life, designing life, what I want next, with clarity. So this book, if you ask me, the entire book themed under how a person can design their life better with the project mindset. So that is the message I wanted to give to all my readers, all my viewers.
Dr. Srini garu, ఇప్పుడు part of the book part of the book, so unmanaged project leaks energy అన్నారు. సో మన లైఫ్లో ఆ లీకేజ్ అనేది ఎలా కనిపెట్టగలం, ఎలా కనపడుతుంది?
బాగా చెప్పారు. మనం జనరల్గా మన ఇంట్లో కూడా చూస్తాము, పీపుల్ ఆర్ సో ఎగ్జాస్టెడ్, రైట్? పీపుల్ ఆర్ సో బిజీ. వెన్ యూ సే, డూ యూ హ్యావ్ 2 minutes time? No, I'm busy. So this itself shows there is a lot of energy being leakaged, and where they are exhausted and they are so busy, and the ultimate question is, where is the outcome? Are they able to get on to the direction where they want? Are they reaching their desired state is the question mark. And in simple terms, the project life cycle also works on the triple constraint, I call it, right? 3 things, very, very important. One is having the clarity, the intent, I would say, clarity, intent, purpose. Second thing is energy. One should have energy. Third thing is time. If you are able to control, balance these 3 things, I would say you are on the right track, and you should able to balance that energy leakage.
Well said, sir. So inkoti which I realized, very starting of our introduction, was just saying that you did your PhD. అది కాకుండా కూడా మీరు Toastmasters president, or you've been in a PMP, now you becoming an author. So మీ పర్సనల్ డిసిప్లిన్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది?
Good point. జనరల్గా మనం ఇంకోటి చాలా మంది దగ్గర వింటుంటాము, వర్క్ లైఫ్ బ్యాలెన్స్, రైట్? Hey, is this company gives the work life balance? No, I'm not getting work life balance. To me, from my experience, what I understood is there is nothing called life and work balance. There is nothing called work life balance, right? Because these are all part and parcel of your life. It's single life, right? I learned it like it's more of priority management. Today your personal life is priority, tomorrow is your office, office is priority. So the bottom line is how best you prioritize your work, how best you respond to your life requirements at different points of time in 24 hours. That is important. That's how I able to prioritize my work. What I do, I generally like proactively plan, daily plan, weekly plan, monthly plan, year plan. I do it what I need to achieve, right? And I allocate like I see how I can keep going, how I can prioritize. So I'm very adaptable, I'm very flexible with that plan, and also I'm not so serious about these plans also. If something is getting delayed, I'm okay with that. I can cope up. So I take it easy, but I ensure I'm on the right direction, and I ensure my priority is right, rather than work-life balance and all. So that's how I take it.
సో ఇప్పుడు యంగర్ జనరేషన్స్కి మీరు ఇచ్చే అడ్వైజ్ ఏంటి? ఇప్పుడు దే నాట్ బీన్ ప్రాపర్లీ మేనేజింగ్ దేర్ సెల్ఫ్, సో దానికి మీరు ఇచ్చే అడ్వైజ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది ఫర్ ద యంగర్ జనరేషన్స్?
Very, very important. In a nutshell, the younger generation, my simple message is try to get the clarity, try to get the purpose of life, clarity of thoughts. This itself drives you long way. When you have clarity of thoughts, you will get clarity of ideas, you will get clarity of direction, and you have purpose of life. So these things are very, very important, and sooner you get this at earliest age, I would say you're more excel in your life. So try to get the clarity from wherever, whatever sources are there. Then I would say this is my simple message to all the youth, younger generations, to be leading their life rather lagging in their life.
సో సక్సెస్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు యూ బీన్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయినింగ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ద పర్సనాలిటీ, వాట్ ఇట్ హ్యాస్ టు బీ సక్సీడింగ్ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ ఫ్యూచర్ జనరేషన్స్. ఇప్పుడు సక్సెస్ అనేది మీ యంగ్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంది, ఇప్పుడు ఎలా ఉంది? సో హౌ డు యూ డిఫరెన్షియేట్?
మీకు తెలిసి ఉంటుంది, చిన్నప్పుడు మనం చిన్న చిన్న పనులు చేసగానే ఏదో చాక్లెట్ ఇచ్చారు, దట్ ఈస్ వీఆర్ సో ప్రౌడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్, so excited about it. But as we get maturity, as we understand those that become part and parcel of our journey. Then ఎందుకు అంటే మన లైఫ్లో ఎన్నో పనులు చేసుకుంటూ ముందుకెళ్తూ ఉంటాము. ఇంపార్టెంట్ అదే, మనం చేయాల్సింది మనం చేస్తూ పోతూ ఉంటే అవుట్కమ్ అనేది రిజల్ట్స్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ఆ రిజల్ట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు మనం సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకుంటాము. మనకన్నా ఎక్కువ మన సరౌండింగ్ పీపుల్ మోర్ ఎగ్జైటెడ్ టు సెలబ్రేట్ ఇట్. బట్ ఐ వుడ్ సే దట్స్ ఎ మూమెంట్. సక్సెస్ అనేది ఒక మూమెంట్. ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇట్ ఈజ్ హౌ యు ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు క్యారీ దట్ సక్సెస్ ఎవ్రీ డే, హౌ యు ఆర్ గెటింగ్ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్, మోటివేషన్ ఎవ్రీ డే, హౌ యు ఆర్ కీపింగ్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్ చార్జ్డ్ ఎవ్రీ డే ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ మీ. సో లైఫ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ సో ఈజీ. మైండ్ సెట్ అనేది ఫ్లక్చుయేట్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఒకరోజు యూఆర్ ఎట్ హై ఎనర్జీ, సమ్ డే యూఆర్ ఎట్ లో ఎనర్జీ, బట్ హౌ యూ బ్యాలెన్స్ దట్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, అండ్ దట్స్ ద గేమ్ ఆఫ్ మైండ్. హౌ డూ యూ కంట్రోల్ యువర్ మైండ్ ఈస్ ద గేమ్, అండ్ సక్సెస్ అండ్ ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ పార్ట్ అండ్ పార్సల్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ జర్నీ.
ఇప్పుడున్న లీడర్స్కి అన్సర్టెనిటీ అని ఎలా హ్యాండిల్ చేయగలరు? వాళ్ళకి ఎలాంటి ప్రిన్సిపల్ మీరు చెప్పగలరు?
Indeed, uncertainty, life is itself uncertainty. Like, if you see the current scenario, lot of things are, unplanned. There are a lot of, uncertainties being thrown by world to you. But my simple message is, you try to control what is in your control. You don't bother about what is not in your control. That is a simple message to anybody like thinks about. You see that can I influence? Can I make change here? Can I control certain things? Of course, you do it. Certain things behind your control, please play God hope for the best. But don't bother about those things which not in your control. But you accept that. Something is which is not in your control. Accept the fact. Whatever comes, accept it and respond to the situation as it becomes uncertainty becomes certainty, risk, negative risk becomes positive risk. It's all part and parcel of life. All I would say in simple terms, rather reacting to your life, to the situation, learn to respond to the situations actively, proactively rather than reactively. That's how the message I want to give to all the leaders.
ఓకే, సో ఫైనల్గా మా ఆడియన్స్కి మీరు ఇచ్చే మెసేజ్ ఏంటి ఆర్ అడ్వైస్ కావచ్చు?
Good, Krishna garu, in simple terms, my advice to all your viewers is, one is try to get purpose of life, try to get clarity of thoughts, right? This is one thing. Second thing is, from my book Life is a Project, one is design your life, other is live with the default life. So whatever life gives, accept it, move on, and whatever you design the life will follow. So decide yourself, do you want to be a leader in the life, or do you want to be a follower of your life? Choice is yours. So that's my message to your viewers.
And thank you so much for your time, sir, to be on our podcast. And I wish you all the best for your upcoming book. That's Life is a Project. Finally, I just want to conclude here. మనం ఆఫీస్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ని సింపుల్గా ఎలా మేనేజ్ చేస్తామో లైఫ్ని కూడా అలానే సింపుల్గా మేనేజ్ చేయాలనేది ఎప్పటికీ గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటాను సార్ మీరు చెప్పిన అడ్వైజ్. And that's already it's been explained in the book that's upcoming in next couple of days. That's a Life is a Project. I really appreciate every person who is watching this SJ Talks. Would really helpful for everyone by the advices given by Dr. Srinivas Reddy Edulakanti. So we really appreciate your time to be here, sir. Thanks again, sir.
Thank you again, Krishna garu. Thank you to all your viewers.